Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Introducing the Smart Kicker from iConnect, the most affordable smartphone on the market. With a follow focus capable 2-megapixel camera, you can't miss out on any of the action. Over 400 hours of standby battery time and 32 gig external memory. That's more than enough space for all your series, music, pics, apps and games. Get yours today from iConnect for a limited offer of only 499 kwacha, including 300 MB iSpot internet from iConnect. The Smart Kicker, available at iConnect. iConnect, make it happen.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Jungle.
Good evening. To present the main news on Prime TV, my name is Makokwa Kozi. First, we take a look at the stories making the headlines. TIZ calls for transparency in the Mutembo Tribunal. NAREP challenges government to justify President Lungu's trips. FFTUZ welcomes government's intention to create 1 million jobs by 2016. In international news, Buhari closes in on victory in Nigeria's election. For this and other stories, join us after this short break. now the main news in detail. Transparency International Zambia TIZ has asked the tribunal investigating suspended Director of Public Prosecution Mutembo Nchito to be fair and professional in the manner it will handle the proceedings and investigations. TIZ Executive Director Goodwill Lungu says it is important that people who are sitting on the tribunal observe professionalism and good conduct from people who are there. Mr. Lungu adds that it is important that people are given professional information on the tribunal so that they can trust the findings of the tribunal when the sitting is done. He has stressed that people are expecting to hear a lot from the proceedings of the tribunal so that they are satisfied with the findings. Mr. Lungu was speaking in an interview with Prime Television, and Mr. Lungu has indicated that all political parties participating in the by-elections should resist from political violence, which has caused suffering for many people. Mr. Lungu has charged that political violence will only bring divisions and hate in politics. I'll read that again. Mr. Lungu has charged that political violence will only bring divisions and hate if political violence is allowed to go on, especially during the elections. He has appealed to all political parties to conduct themselves during elections and ensure that peace prevails before, during and after the elections.
We want to indicate as Transparency International Zambia that the tribunal that has been constituted to probe the suspended Director of Public Prosecution should do its work in a very diligent, fair and professional manner. And we want to put it on record that our hope is that the 9 allegations that have been put across, the truth has to come out rather than what we have seen currently, that this particular tribunal, as well as the allegations and the debate around the DPP's office, there are some people who have used that as a source of source and opportunity of trying to character assassinate other people who are raising concerns. We want this matter to be put to rest and the allegations to be thoroughly investigated and the truth to be brought out. And then last, we want to urge the Zambian government that despite putting in place the law to have tribunals, they should at all costs try to protect the integrity of such constitutional offices.
CK Mabo, a company engaged to legalize land in Garden House area on behalf of a white settler, has refuted accusations that it has encroached on private land. CK Mabo Director Elijah Kasonso says that the company has not encroached on any land as being suggested by some residents, saying the company has powers to control the entire 510,000 hectares of land in question. Mr. Kasonso explains that only his company has been mandated by law to subdivide the land and legalize it on behalf of the owner. He maintains that as long as someone has not been given that land by his company, then such people are legally occupying it and are subject to eviction. Mr. Kasonso was reacting to recent meetings held by some residents in the area where they accused Mr. Kasonso and his company of land encroachment and victimization of residents.
Just last week, several residents in Garden House area gathered to denounce CK Mabo and its director Elijah Kasonso over land encroachment and victimization. According to the residents, they said Mr. Kasonso has started presiding over land which he is not mandated to preside over, as he was only mandated to legalize only 72 hectares of land out of the 510 hectares of land which is supposed to be legalized in Garden House area. But according to Mr. Kasonso, he says his company by law has the powers to preside over the entire 510 hectares of land without being questioned by anyone.
We have powers to control the whole farm, which is about 510 hectares. No one can dispute that. It's written in black and white. CK Mabo has the right to sue anyone sitting on that farm illegally to court. We have the powers, not by mouth, by document. We have all these documents to act on behalf of the owner. That's the authority that is vested in our powers of CK Mabo.
He further explains that all those occupying that land without the blessings of his company are illegally occupying it, asking them to get documentation from his company or risk losing the land they are occupying.
Let everyone know from today onwards, whatever they are doing, illegalities, selling like they are doing, chairmen as they call themselves, this is illegal. These are things of the past. We are not talking about chairmen, no. We are talking about legalizing their positions. Their plots they bought from Kadas before we came in. It's only CK Mabo that can legalize their positions.
Mr. Kasonso also disclosed the measures to be instituted following the burning of his company cars, demolition of houses by a group of people being led by a chairman going by the name of Mr. Zeke Zeke.
Take an example, the same so-called chairman, Zeke Zeke. Who is he? That is just a squatter. Very soon or later we'll take him to court, and that I'm serious over this one. He's going to court, not only what he did by destroying those vehicles that he destroyed, he's going to court over the land he's occupying illegally. Nobody gave him that position where he has built his house. It's illegal. We are talking about illegality. The government has been talking about legalizing, or rather avoiding buying land from the streets. He bought the land from the street. He never bought from CK Mabo. So as CK Mabo management will take him on that one to court.
The question is, if the Supreme Court has also ruled in favor of CK Mabo that it is the only company to preside over the land in question, then why there is still controversy? Kalan Muchima reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
National Restoration Party, NAREP, has challenged government to justify President Edgar Lungu's international trips. NAREP Presidential Assistant David Kapoma has charged that government must explain to Zambians why the president is making so many international trips with a huge entourage. He says this amounts to a waste of taxpayers' money. Mr. Kapoma observes that from the time President Edgar Lungu took office, he has been traveling, a situation he says is worrying. He wondered why President Lungu travels with such a huge entourage, including ministers who he said should remain and do other responsibilities. Mr. Kapoma says President Lungu has never had time to address the economic challenges and massive youth unemployment that have hit the country, but is busy traveling around the world.
For example, the finance minister was enough for him to be able to sign those agreements. Then we think that it was very unnecessary for the president to travel. But what would demand instead is that the PF needs to justify why the president is taking the trips that he's taking. Why is it so important that it's him to travel and not the ministers? Otherwise, if we want to just condemn and blame him for the travels that he's doing, we may not know exactly the reason why he's the one that is having to travel. So I think in our case, we'd like the government to justify his traveling. Is it just necessary and a must that he should be the one to travel? Or there could be other cabinet ministers that could travel and be able to do the type of work that he's doing in the countries that he's traveling to?
The Patriotic Front in Mandevu constituency has expressed disappointment over Forum for Democratic Alternative President Ludwig Sondash's sentiments that PF has brought misery to Zambians. Constituency Secretary Lemi Walia says it is disappointing that a man of Dr. Sondash's stature could come out and utter such words with all the developmental projects taking place in the country. Mr. Walia has pointed out that since PF took office, it has brought development by ensuring every Zambian benefits. He says Mr. Sondash is nothing but a man who is frustrated, saying he is aspiring to get to the highest office in the land when he has little to show of what he can do for the people of Zambia.
The Patriotic Front in the Mandevu constituency, I think the big man, to Comrade Sondash, is not thinking properly. Why should he saying PF must be voted out in power? People of Zambia have confidence in PF, and that is why they decided to vote for PF in 2011. There are a lot of things that the PF government has done since its inception. For the first time, the PF government has constructed a road in the Western Province, a bridge, should I say. In each and every provinces around Zambia, there is a university which is coming up, which is a positive development. There are so many things. The construction of 650 healthy facilities. All these things have been put in place by the PF government. So it's very unfortunate for the big man to say the people of Zambia should vote out.
We break for some commercials. Join us on the other side. Don't go away.
All your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. The Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD, has noted that the 2015 national budget is under siege and has continued to suffer significant changes after its approval by Parliament. ZCSD Executive Director Lewis Mwape says the directive made by President Edgar Lungu to the Finance Minister and his mines counterpart to review and reverse the new mining tax regime will impact positively on the revenue estimates to be to be raised through mining taxation. He says there is a need for the public to be aware that the president, in his capacity, introduced a new ministry at State House and various other appointments which he says were not planned for. Mr. Mwape says the ZCSD, they have seen the need for the executive to admit the economic challenges that the country is going through and engage relevant stakeholders, especially the people's representatives. He said this in a statement made available to Prime TV News. The Federation of Free Trade Unions of Zambia, FFTUZ, has welcomed government's announcement that it will create 1 million jobs by 2016. Union President Chingati Musiska says government should ensure that the jobs being created are formal and will benefit the people of Zambia on a long-term basis. Mr. Musiska says the employment levels in the country are high. The unemployment levels in the country are high and worrying, hence the announcement by government is fully welcome. He adds that government must be commended by all well-meaning Zambians for the move. He says this will help reduce the poverty levels in the country. Yesterday, Labour Minister Faxon Shamenda said government will create 1 million jobs in all sectors of the economy by 2016.
And we just want to believe and be able to observe that whatever is being said now will be implemented or come into fruition. And we hope what the Minister of Labour mentioned, like you have already said, will come to pass, because I think it's high time that we had created employment. And I want also to make mention here that, you know, it's depend on where and how we look at these issues, but it's very possible that those jobs can be created. And as the labour movement, definitely we are very excited, because this is the way this is a major reason to why we exist. We need to see to it that employment is created, and if the government can do it that way, I think we'll be more than happy.
People living with HIV in Zambia have supported President Edgar Lungu's bold move over deportation of HIV-positive Zambians from China. The Treatment Advocacy and Literacy Campaign has welcomed President Edgar Lungu's concerns on the deportation of HIV-positive Zambians from China. TALC Country Director Felix Mwanza says the fact that President Lungu made this observation and further relayed the message to the Chinese president in China is a very bold stance. Mr. Mwanza says the stance makes the people living with HIV in the country to feel protected, and that for the first time they have a president who is concerned about their welfare. He says President Lungu has exhibited leadership which must be emulated by all. Pineapple production has proved to be a money-spinning venture in the northwestern province. Clifford Chituta reports that one of the farmers, Sylvain Sameta, who cultivates 15 hectares of pineapples is in Ikelengi district, says the business is viable, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock in the district have described Mr. Sameta as a leading producer of pineapples in the area.
His dream of constructing this 6-bedroom house in one of the remotest districts has become a reality for Sylvain Sameta. Mr. Sameta is a pineapple farmer of Chieftainess Ikelenge's area of Ikelenge district in northwestern province. Ikelenge district is famously known for hosting the source of Zambezi River and high production of pineapples. Both Mwinilunga and Ikelenge district top the list in pineapple production in Zambia. According to Mr. Sameta, he started pineapple farming in 1976. He looks at the construction of this house, built out of the pineapple production, as a blessing. This farmer has cultivated 15 hectares of pineapples field few kilometers from Ikelenge Boma. Mr. Sameta explains his success story.
I've built my good house through pineapple selling, and I've tried to educate my children through pineapple farming. And just looking at the standard of living, I can be able to buy soap or whatever clothing.
However, Mr. Sameta has appeals to make.
The challenge that we are facing is the market. We don't have a market for all the farmers to sell their pineapple produce. The only thing is we have got a very bad road network from Wenurunga to Jimbe. So what I'm saying is we are appealing to the government if they can quickly come in and work out the road from Wenurunga to Jimbe to be tarred.
Minister of Agriculture and Livestock expert in Ikelenge district know the importance of pineapple production in the area.
Ikelenge is also strategically located. If we have a good road network, we have Angola on one side and we have the DRC on the other side. So these two outlets can provide a good outlet for our pineapple farmers, and obviously in the end the livelihoods of our farmers in Ikelenge district will improve.
In Ikelenge district, we are encouraging farmers not only to involve themselves in farming one crop, we are encouraging them to involve themselves in crop diversification so that they are able not only to plant maize but also pineapples, as we can see here in Mr. Sameta's farm. This is how much is done, and this has helped our farmers indeed.
The ministry in Wenurunga district has partnered with National Institute for Scientific Research in improving the pineapple variety through research at Wenurunga Farmers Training Center with the nurseries.
I wish to mention that the Ministry of Agriculture in the district has partnered with the National Institute for Scientific Research in terms of trying to improve our pineapples.
Despite farmers facing challenges of transport and access to the market due to the bad state of the roads in the area, it is only hope that other farmers in Zambia will emulate Mr. Sameta. Clifford Tuta, reporting in Ikelenge district, Northwestern Province.
We break for another commercial, but still ahead in the news, we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back. In international news, Malaysian police have arrested 5 staff members of a news website after their publication ran an article discussing royal opposition to amendments to the constitution that would be enable Islamic penal law. Lionel Moraes, Zulkifli Sulong and Amin Iskandar were held after authorities raided the offices of the Malaysian Insider late on Monday. The trio was charged with sedition later on Tuesday. A further 2 members of staff at the publication, Jahaba Sadiq and its CEO Ho Kat Ta, were also arrested on Tuesday, a lawyer for the website told Al Jazeera. Ambiga Vassan told Al Jazeera that the arrest could not be justified and called on the law used to hold the men a cake. Partial results from Nigeria's election give ex-military ruler Muhammadu Buhari a substantial lead over the incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. With only 5 states left to declare, General Buhari's All Progressive Congress APC is ahead by almost 3 million votes. A victory for the general would make President Jonathan the first incumbent president to lose an election in Nigeria. Correspondents say it is likely the loser will allege foul play. More than 800 people were killed in protest after Mr. Jonathan beat General Buhari in the previous elections. For this and other international stories, we monitored Al Jazeera.
The Saudi-led coalition has targeted a weapons storage facility in the Yemeni capital controlled by Houthi rebels during 6 nights of airstrikes. While in Hajjah province, there are conflicting reports about the number of people killed at a camp for displaced people near the Saudi Arabian border. Some reports put that number at 40. Vote counting is expected to restart shortly in Nigeria's closely contested presidential election. Early results show a slight lead for the opposition candidate, Muhammadu Buhari, with half of Nigeria's 36 states counted. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says talks over Iran's nuclear future have a good chance of success. Diplomats are working hard to reach an agreement hours before a self-imposed deadline. Iran's foreign minister and 6 world powers have been meeting in Switzerland. The UN is hoping to raise more than $8 billion for Syrian refugees at a donors conference that's underway in Kuwait City. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is chairing that day-long conference. Kuwait's emir has already pledged $500 million to help tackle what the UN called the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Syria. The Germanwings co-pilot suspected of deliberately crashing a plane into the French Alps had been treated for suicidal tendencies in the past. Germany's state prosecutor confirmed Andreas Lubitz was in therapy up until that crash. Investigators say his motive is still unclear. They're searching for more clues, including the flight data recorder. All 150 people on board were killed. Prosecutors in the trial of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev have wound up their case. The team finished with testimony from medical examiners who described the level of damage the homemade bombs had caused. Defense lawyers have now begun presenting their case, but it's unclear if Tsarnaev will testify. If convicted, he faces life in prison or the death penalty. Security guards at the U.S. National Security Agency headquarters have shot 2 men at Fort Meade in Maryland, killing one of them. The men reportedly tried to ram through the gates with their car, and the FBI saying it doesn't believe this is a terrorism-related incident.
In sports news, several soccer fans in Lusaka have appealed to the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, to ensure that they maintain Hona Janza as the Chipolopolo coach. The fans have argued that Janza is a good and inspiring coach that can bring serious changes to the team given enough time to prove himself. They say frequent changing of coaches and bringing in of foreign coaches will not help the team. FAZ said in a statement on Monday that they are sticking by Janza after a dramatic 48 hours of emotional in the media by the Zambian coach after he was jilted by Kalusha Bwalia at the FAZ annual general meeting on Saturday in Kabwe.
Mushi mafuniko osakira che assistant winango omutandiza so that azambo sebenza che mushemushi nyemusira chambe noti bampishe cause wakampisha zambo peze kati ma games tuzambo oluza paka bwero coach winango mwachinja pobwera winango naona tu peze kati tukaendolo ku Africa Cup zambopeza ma mistakes
vakapisha wa coach vazapangati vazasakira foreign coach and then the assistant coach futi vazafanika futi wasakire another foreign assistant. So the best of us is just to look upon honor Janza the same Janza we have, having him continue. See?
And for me, Janza is qualified. He's just the same as the expected coaches we have brought, but the issue is they are not giving him chance. Let them give him chance. Let him operate within his qualifications. He is able to deliver. For me, the association is not giving him the ample time.
And soccer fan Ruben Kamanga has urged the Football Association of Zambia FAS to use this period to find a capable person to coach the team. He says retaining Janza as acting head coach still leaves the association with work to do, as their decision does not guarantee anything. Mr. Kamanga has called on the Football Association of Zambia to ensure that they find a lasting solution to the issues surrounding the head coach for the national team. Coach Janza has meanwhile expressed his willingness and commitment to serve as requested at any level of Zambian football. Janza is currently tasked with coming up with a team for the 2015 COSAFA tournament to be held in South Africa in May this year.
Couple of games that we've played, and now it's time to make the right decision and pick a coach who can take Zambian football to another level. But again, the long-term view of that position for me, it lies in Zambia, and we've got a lot of talent. We've got Janza himself, we cannot just discard him. We've got Fighton Smukonda, we've got Wetson Yurenda, we've got George Landamina. So we've got a couple of coaches that can actually, as a team, as a group of 3-4 coaches can coach the national team. We must believe in our own coaches. We must build capacity in our local coaches. A decision has to be made now. What do FAS want to do? Do they want to keep Janza as an acting coach for how long? Even a small document is important. Even just a letter of appointment, we've appointed you as an acting coach for 6 months. That will give him confidence, and these are your entitlements. You'll be entitled to X amount every month. These are your other fringe benefits. I think it's important for his confidence. It's important for the respect of an employee that you want to engage.
That's it. That's all we had for the news at 19:30. But before we go, another look at the stories that made the headlines. Transparency International Zambia calls for transparency in Mutembo's tribunal. National Restoration Party challenges government to justify President Lungu's trips. FFTUZ welcomes government's intention to create 1 million jobs by 2016. And in international news, Buhari closes in on victory in Nigeria's elections. That's it. That's all we had for the news at 19. Don't forget to join us for another bulletin tomorrow at 0620. On behalf of the entire news team and the production team, my name is Marco Kwakozi. Have a lovely night.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real, cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.